What is up guys, Bounds here and welcome to Spain of round 5 of season 3 of the WIRL World Championship. So as you can see here, going out for qualifying, I do believe this was our only lap of the session. Clearly a wet track, so strategy is going to be much easier, as with it being a dry race and obviously a wet qualifying session you can start on any tyre which you decide, which means that a one stop is definitely on the cards, certainly for everyone. I mean, if it's on the cards for me, it's quite obviously on the cards for everybody, as my tyre wear is extremely poor, but that was a very scruffy corner there, running extremely wide. This one deliberately running wide a bit, as you don't really want to touch that curve. It can slow you down quite a bit with the traction. So with it being wet qualifying and a potential one stop as a result of the wet qualifying, I am running higher wings than what I usually would in order to get the grip for this qualifying run, as well as to minimise tyre wear during the race, as tyre wear is going to be extremely important. Pushing out for a one stop, it's not something that I usually try. My preference is to just push 100% of the time. Not really worry about the tyres, as I can't really conserve tyres that well anyway, so really look to go as fast as possible 100% of the time, which does also lead to mistakes, but it's been quite a tidy lap so far. I don't think it's going to push in the top 5 or anything like that. It's not the best, as you see, touching the sausage curb there. A few mistakes in there, and of course with the league being so tight within the midfield and at the top end of the league, every 10th counts. And as you can see, P12 there, so Speedy on pole position with a very respectable 1:35.44. Ferrari 2nd and 3rd. Williams 4th and 5th, that's very interesting, very key for the Constructors' battle. As you can see, Red Bull 12th and 14th, with myself being in 12th and Schnitzel being in 14th. Toro Rosso 15th and 16th, and Novi and Armani and Swiss Gamer 2000 line up the back of the grid. So here we are then, it's 5 lights getting ready for the start of the race, and we are underway for the Spanish Grand Prix. So it's a reasonably good start there. Nico on the soft tyres. Interesting to start on the soft tyres this early in the race from fairly within the mid-pack. Really want to go on the harder compound to see GT fan there getting pushed out wide, and we are under yellow flags already, so something has happened. Just pipping Yannick there under the yellow flags, but fortunately it went to green, so the overtake is actually stuck. Andre going out wide there, and as you can see, safety car within the first lap. Now, of course, being on the hard tyres, my teammate Schnitzel also being on the hard tyres, absolutely great for us. Means we can minimise tyre wear within the opening few laps. Really, one stop is definitely confirmed now. I was up in the air a little bit for one stop or hard soft, because I am pretty poor with tyre wear, but decision was pretty much made for me with this safety car. So as we look for the restart then, it's crucial to stay on the back of Knapf here and follow him down the pit straight. As you can see there, the game glitching. DRS enabled, DRS disabled. Of course, why not? So we're going to have to look to defend from Epic Scorpion here, as we are clearly not close enough to Knapf going into turn 1. Epic Scorpion, of course, being on the soft tyres, will have much more pace than us, as Knapf locks his wheels there. Pro-Onus lagging out and rejoining, so he will likely have lost quite a bit of time there, I would assume. As you can see him up ahead there, still a ghost car, so he still hasn't managed to get back into his cockpit as of yet. So we will look to exploit this and hope that he is actually out of his cockpit for as long as possible, so we can just drive through him as he is ghosted. As you can see, Knapf there locking up, and the ghost of Pro is really costing him there, but he has rejoined, and unfortunately, I don't know whether he actually did that or if it was just lag, but unfortunately taking Epic Scorpion out of the race there. And I'm sure Epic Scorpion will be absolutely fuming about that, as it's obviously not nice to see as we go on to lap 8 now in P9. A rather uneventful few laps. However, GT fan, very quick driver, hence why he's in the Ferrari. Race winner in Australia, of course, takes us quite convincingly on the DRS straight. As you can see, running 8 front wing. My teammate, I believe, told me that he was running 9, so we were both on a very high downforce setup. So it's going to be extremely difficult to actually get overtakes done down the DRS straight, and especially defending. It's going to be even more difficult, but within the mid sectors, as you can see, fairly decent grip for fairly worn out hards at the moment. And as you can see, plus 3 laps of fuel, so we shall probably be looking to rich it for pretty much the entire race. As you see, Pro-Onus now with the DRS on us, take us on the outside extremely easily, extremely comfortably, not even having to sweat with that overtake really going into turn 1. As the yellow flags come out here, I wasn't really sure what this was for, but you can see a car off there onto the left in the gravel. I didn't see who that was and didn't see who it was in the race, so unfortunately can't give you that information. As we come to pit now on lap 21 of P3, I believe the tyres were on around 78%, so really pushing with me with the with actually getting a puncture. 2.4 second stop, pretty average stop, not the best, not the worst. We rejoin in P8 then. And as you can see here, Prawn is in P9, and I believe that was Schnitzel behind him, or it might have been Spike, I'm not too sure. It is indeed Spike, as Prawn gets us on the outside of turn 1, and we were still side by side, having to take to the grass a little bit there to give him some room. As I did see, he did lag into, as you can see there with the lag, he did lag into Epic Scorpion earlier in the race, so I was very, very cautious, and my teammate Schnitzel, also following him, did give me information that he was also lagging, so I was really scared. I mean, it's hard enough going side by side with cars in high speed corners, as obviously you know, but when there's lag involved too, it can be extremely dangerous. As you can see, he's lagging all over the place, just really finding it so difficult to follow him. I mean, how do you follow a car like this? Never mind actually get the overtake planted, when on my screen he could be just entering the hairpin here, but on his screen could be somewhere entirely different. So really was looking to dispatch a Pronis as quickly as possible on these medium tyres. I believe he should be on relatively worn out hards. I think he was at hards at the start of the race. As you can see, another car disappearing there off into the pit lane, twice lagging, so there's quite a bit of lag in this session. As you can see, going around the outside of Pronis now, I had absolutely no idea where he was on the track with lag, so being extremely cautious, wanting to give as much space as possible. The Spike is also looking on the inside of Pronis there. Into turn 1, we get the overtake planted. I believe they were side by side, coming through this rather quick right-hander, but it does look like Spike has fallen in line behind Pronis now. Should be able to have a look at this corner, I would think, unless Pronis will shut the door. So it was looking quite good at the moment. P7, I don't think a lot of other people were on the one-stop strategy, so a good position, a good result here is definitely on the cards. We just need to push now to get a gap between ourselves and Pro Owners and Spike, so they don't have the DRS on us. So this lap here is extremely crucial, as you can see going purple there, which is very surprising. It's a fairly scruffy lap so far, so I was very surprised that actually was purple, but we still have plus 2 laps of fuel to utilise in Rich, so we can definitely push now to get this gap out to Pro Owners, but unfortunately we outbrake ourselves, pushing a little bit too hard within the chicane there. Spike obviously does get the move done on Pro Owners, but as you can see, Pro Owners just lags from absolutely nowhere and destroys our car, and the race was going so well. As you can see a replay here from a teammate's point of view, you can see on his screen Spike isn't even past Pro Owners. Pro Owners just lags around 150-200 metres forwards and just completely destroys our car, so that was extremely unfortunate. But congratulations to Knampf there, P1, Williams 2nd and 3rd, Kevin finishing 7th, very unfortunate for him, he did receive a puncture. So the Drivers' Championship, P12, not good enough. Knampf leading a very tight championship there with 1st and 2nd. It's very close between Ferrari and Williams in 1st and 2nd. We are of course in 5th in the championship, which it's not going well so far, so we're going to have to bounce back next week within Monaco, and of course Monaco, it's going to be extremely difficult. I will say as well that Pro Owners has always had quite a lot of lag issues, and as such he has now unfortunately left the league. I mean, it's not something you ever really want to see, because he is a very quick driver, very consistent driver, and I've had a lot of really good fights, really good battles with him over the course of, well, about around a season and a half. So that is very unfortunate to see, but hopefully he can get his connection sorted out and he will be able to rejoin us hopefully sometime in the future. But that was round 5 of the championship. Not a good one for either of us, and I'll see you next time in Monaco. Take care.